Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of The Disruption Show. My name is Claire Munde and today we're talking all about personal branding. Now let me ask you a question. Are you who you think you are? Well, we're going to find out what personal branding is all about and how we can ensure that we have a strong personal and business brand. Now, to have this conversation, I'm happy to be joined by Mercy Maluli, who is an Equity Group trainee and Equity Bank Kenya customer. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
I'm also happy to be joined by Sarah Munyi, who is a life coach and personal branding expert. Welcome to you.
Thank you very much.
Now, many times people say that what you think you are is not necessarily who you are. Now, what people say about you when you're not in the room is often what your personal branding is all about. Now, I want to find out how can we ensure that we have a strong personal brand. And I think to start off this conversation, I'd like to direct the question to you, Sarah.
Yes.
What exactly is a personal brand? Before we can even think about building a strong personal brand, what is a personal brand?
A personal brand is basically what people think about when they think about you. It's about the perception that we have of you. So when we mention a name like Wangari Maathai, there's something that name provokes. So you think environment, you will think environmental conservation, you'll think green, So there's something that the name is provoking. So what does your name provoke? Because that's your personal brand. You may think that, oh, well, I'm a lawyer and I'm all good and I think I'm a good person. But, well, the perception we have of you is maybe quite different, you see? So that's why it's important we think about this personal branding, and especially for young people, professionals. And I think this is a conversation that all of us need to really think about and have. Personal branding is important for your next level, for your growth in your career, in your business, and even in life. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think that's a good thing that you said. Just the way you said, when we think about Wangari Maathai, we think about the environment. And I think I'll ask you, Mercy, before you tell us about what personal branding means to you, what do you think people think of when they think of you? Because as she said, sometimes what we think we are is different from what people actually perceive of us. So what is that one thing that you think people think about you, or what would you like to be associated with?
Looking good? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you do and what personal branding means to you.
My name's Mercy Nduku Maluli. I am the CEO, founder, Divine Collections. I'm so proud of the brand itself. I've come from afar. I've built the brand from a single product to multiple products, and from selling to few clients to multiple clients. So personally, what I think of personal branding, it's people need to understand what is the brand. Because people, what they think is a brand is not a brand. Because people, they think a product is a brand. A product is not a brand. Mm-hmm. Yeah, brand is created in people's mind, and product is created in factories. Mm. So when people talk about brands, or someone is trying to start his or her own brand, they'll think about the logo. They'll think about, things that are not brands. Mm. You see, you need to create something in people's mind that they will go talking about it. You see, so if someone, I'll be selling the same product to you. I sell menswear, and then I'm selling the same products to you too, but you have different different perspective. You have a different people get it differently. Mm-hmm. So when you have a different result, and you have a different result for my product, mm-hmm. that is now the brand. And now you see the brand is it's infinity. Millions of people have different. You'll say I don't like the product. You say I love the product. Now you see that is what the brand is. And when you know that, you just give the clients the right thing, so everyone will come back with good results.
Yeah. Just to pick on that, it's easy for us to think about brands as a company. I mean, that's what we've always thought about. A brand is a company. So is a company is like, those big companies that we know. Yeah. I don't want to mention, but we don't look at ourselves as brands. But I want to, yes, but I want.
And as she was saying that, it was really coming out clearly because she's thinking of herself. She wants to be perceived as looking good.
Yes.
And you'll talk to us a little bit about that intersection between the business and the personal brand. So do you need to be what your business is, the same brand, or can it be distinguished? So just continue and then you'll tell us a little bit about that intersection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, so, but I just want to commit to each and every person watching that you are a brand. And when we talk about brands, we have two things. We either have brands or commodities. And we say in branding, we say brands are bought, commodities are sold. So we don't want to be selling commodities. We want to be brands that can be bought. So how do we become brands? So number one, you've got to know what you are about. Who are you in the first place? Who are you? Who do you say that you are? And I usually do a lot of interviews for companies. I mean, people who are, looking for jobs. And I mean, that's the first question. Tell us about yourself. Yeah. And you hear all sorts of, somebody will say their names and that's it. So are you your name? If we take away your name and the titles and all that, what remains? Yeah. You've got to first of all know who am I? If we take away all the titles, what remains? Yeah. Who am I? Yeah, yeah. We must start from there so that we build something authentic, an authentic brand. What do I stand for? Am I a person of integrity? Because this is what happens. If you have integrity, you have professionalism, this is the same thing you're going to transfer to your brand. So it's okay. I know we put very nice values on our companies. If you have a small SME or you're a startup, we put very nice wordings, on our documents, those core values. But if you don't embody those values, if they don't come from you, if we cannot come and find integrity, I mean, utaongea vibaya, you're speaking to the clients badly, you are. I mean, it will affect your brand. Even if you say, oh, we are very good. It's good on paper, but on experience, it's not. So it's gonna affect. So it's important what you say, the kind of brand that you are building, you also embody those values, so that we know when we come to company ABC, we expect to find integrity, we expect to find honesty, we expect to find professionalism, we expect to find innovation, and it's being actually expressed by the staff who are there. It's being expressed by you.
Okay, and I think there's something that you've mentioned that's very important. The way you said that. When you take away the titles and whatnot, who are you? Yes. And that's a question that not just comes up in interviews, but just in life in general. Yes. How does someone go about really categorizing themselves as what they are? Because they say sometimes, take away your title. Okay, you're a CEO, take that away. They say, take away your spouse, take away your mother or father. So what is left? Tell me, like, when we're talking about personal branding, how then do we go about defining who we are away from these things? Because sometimes we are like, that's what we are about. Yeah.
There are those things that cannot be taken from you unless you give them away. So a title can be taken from you and you can be, fired. Yeah, you can be fired. A title can be taken from you. Any title can be taken from you. But there are things that can never be taken from you unless you give them out. Like your ability to be a hard worker. And nobody can take that away from you. And if you decide to be lazy, fine, you give it away. Like, so if you say things like, I'm a hard worker, I'm a person of integrity. Those are things that cannot be taken from you. Anywhere you go, we can try and say, oh, you did this, you did that, but the truth always comes out. So unless you give that away, I'm a hard worker, I'm a team player, that thing cannot be taken away from me. I'm a student of life. I like to learn. I learn. That is something that cannot be taken from you. You see, I'm a leader. We cannot take leadership from you. I'm a visionary person. Those are things cannot be taken from you. So those are not titles. They are not titles, but they are qualities that you have and values that you have worked on and on your journey in life, and that cannot be taken. And that can sell anywhere. Even if we take away your title or what, you still remain a leader, you still remain a visionary, you still remain a team player, you still remain that great person that you know yourself to be. We should never give away those.
Okay, I think those are really good points, things that cannot be taken away from you. And Mercy, maybe you can talk to us a little bit about your own personal brand and business brand. Tell us what that journey has been. Has it been very intentional? You said you want to be perceived as looking good. You want to... When someone comes into your store, they look, okay, this looks like what their brand is selling. Have you been intentional about building that brand, or it's just come naturally and you know what, I look good, I like looking good, and I'll get into this business? Tell us about that journey into building your personal and business brand.
Okay. I'll say personally, I love and I feel good when I'm looking good. The confidence that comes with it is just, So I saw a gap in menswear, and I felt like women are really appreciated. They do the makeup, they do everything, but we have a product for men that we can style you. I'm a personal stylist, so when you come to us, we want to style you. We want you to look good, to wear the right shoe, the right tie. When you walk in, what makes people talk about what you're wearing? When you come in a room and they say, that guy in a blue suit. They remember what you wear. It's what you wear. It's what you wear that I'll put a name on. So I love making people look good, especially men, and boosting their confidence. And that is something that I will even appreciate anyone looking good, not even my clients. I just love doing it. So it started when I was in school, and I love doing when my classmates will ask me, where did you get this from? I felt like this is a gap. I need to tell them I can bring this. So that's how I started the business from down there. And when I started menswear, I felt like the confidence that you give someone, and you see them smile, and you see them, even confidence will give you success. If I walk out, I walk in a room and I want something, like I'm going for an interview, with the confidence alone will make someone feel like he deserves it or she deserves it. So I've come from selling socks, like one product, to selling a lot of products, from suits, everything in a man's closet. Everything in a man's closet, we have it. Okay. And I feel good when I serve and connect with people, network, meeting different people through that. Okay. And I'm really proud of where I've come from.
And just speaking on that, there are actually 3 key things when it comes to personal branding. One is what she has talked about. Mm-hmm. There are 3 key things. Number one is what we see. Mm-hmm. What we see, that number one is what we see, how you look, how you speak, and how you act. These 3 things need to align, because you can look the part, or some people, you just don't look the part. You are going for a deal, you are talking about 10 million, you don't look like it. And we start in branding and perceptions. You are what we see. We judge a book by its cover.
True.
Basically, before you open your mouth, we have already started thinking this person. We are sizing you up, and we are like, we're talking about 100 million. You look like it. You've got to look the part. You get. You just try as much as you can. Just try. So you can look the part until you open your mouth. And now, like when you're doing interviews, and you came, you're looking good, that's fine.
Yes.
And then you open your mouth, you say, you shouldn't have spoken, So you need to be careful about what you say.
Yeah.
Because actually even the difference or the distance between what you want and where you are and what you want is basically your language, is what you will say. So you can build your brand with your mouth, with the words of your mouth, or you can bring it down, it comes tumbling down like that wall. Yeah. And then number 3, you can look the part, speak the part until you do something. Yeah. So we give you the opportunity, maybe it's a job, we give you the job, and then you just can't do. After 3 months, hey, let's get you off, because you just can't act. So those 3 things must align: the way you look, the way you speak, and the way you act.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think let's talk about this thing called unconscious incompetence, because sometimes she's talked about confidence, and yes, confidence can get you there. Yeah, you look the part, you can speak. During an interview, people are like, this is the person we want for the job, and then you come and you're like, you're not delivering. But sometimes someone is not even aware that they are really not competent. So how do we go about knowing what we can and cannot do? Because sometimes some people are faking it until they make it, but then there are people who think that they are good, but they are not really good. So there are times people say that, okay, talk to some close friends or colleagues and really get them to tell you what are you good at and what are you really not good at. So what are the ways that we can actually find out, okay, maybe you're not that good at that, and maybe you're good at something and you just didn't know?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is why we need self-awareness. We just self-awareness that you know your strengths and weaknesses, you know the areas you are good at, and be honest about areas that you're not good at. Now, it's okay to express confidence when there is an opportunity and you know, I don't know it very well, but I'm going to give it a shot. That's good, but you've got to be very willing to learn. You've got to be very willing to learn and actually say it. Say, I'm exploring this area, but it's an area I'm interested about, and you know, I'm willing to learn. I mean, show the interest, show the passion, enthusiasm. It needs to be there, but also you need to actually put in the work and learn what you need to learn and be honest about what I don't know and what I am still working on. If you can just be honest, communication is important in building your brand. You've got to be forthright and you've got to be honest. I know I can do this, or I know I might need some help, or I might need to work with somebody who is in that area for 3 months. Be honest about what you can do and what you cannot do and what you're trying.
And what about this person who actually thinks they can do it and they can't do it? Let's say someone is maybe in the cake business and they really think they're a good baker, and no one is really just telling them. They just don't get the repeat clients and they don't know why, but they are not a good baker.
I'll answer that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, for you to build a brand, you need to have the passion. You need to have the passion and you know what you want. You see, there's the gut feeling, but there's also the passion. Yeah, if you do what you wake me up at 1 a.m., I will sell clothes. I will convince and I will sell. You understand? So anything you want to do you like? Can you do it as a hobby?
Yeah.
You know. So when you take that lane, it is so easy for you to build your brand without feeling like you're falling.
Yeah.
You can even push when things are not working because you're just doing it. You're just doing it like you can just watch a movie, you can just read a book, you know, that's it. And I'll answer on the branding part of when we as personally as Mercy, I have three personalities. I have the behind the scenes that I will never want you to know. Even my spouse, or you know, the secret things that no one will ever I will never want anyone to know about that. And then there's the ego part where you have confidence, you know you can do it because you thrive in that. And then there's what people see. You know, this is what people see about Mercy, and that is what they know, and that is what they have branded Divine, or they have branded Mercy Maluli. You see, so the three things, you know, you sit down sometimes and I'm like, I need to work on my weaknesses, because there are things people have a lot of issues. We don't even display them. So you just see the cover, you see the beautiful Mercy, you see the product, but you don't know she's maybe fighting something, she's not okay. You can connect with your weakness and try make the weakness also become your strength. So at least when you don't have to feel like, you know, they know this side, they don't know. I wish they knew that, you know. So when you're building your personal brand, you need to be real to yourself. Can you accept who you are? Because sometimes people have branded us. You see her passing by, you're giving her the big names, but now you see sometimes it's tough behind the scenes. We have the sleepless nights. It's tough. The entrepreneurship is an ocean. Sometimes it gets tough you can't even talk to, you know, people. Sometimes you just hold and things come back. Now you see, when you handle these weaknesses and then they can come to a better place, is when you have the confidence. I have built my brand to a level that I don't feel like I'm hiding. I don't feel like I'm walking. It's not Mercy. It's just you know. So we need to build something that, can you accept who you are, where you are, or you just feel happy when people say she's a queen, she's a winner, you know, she's victorious. No. There's something that you need to fight and make sure it aligns to your victory. And you won't feel bad if people see, she was fighting depression. Yes, she came out of depression. Now she's a winner. You see, so the brand has to come out. We have to work on learning how to be the people we are, and not just faking it.
Yeah, I think that's an important point that you brought out. Yeah, the behind the scenes, sometimes not everyone sees it, and they say, you know, that overnight success is sometimes 10 years of hard work. But also, I'd like us to talk a little bit more about what you said about you said there are three versions of you. There's the person they see, the brand they see, then there's those parts that you don't want people to know. Now, Sarah, just tell us a little bit about that. How do we maintain authenticity in our personal brand, and at the same time, maybe maintain some mystery, because you don't want everybody knowing, hey, you're really struggling. You're trying to build the brand, whether it's a business brand or whatever, but you want to maintain some mystery, but at the same time remain authentic, because they say that sometimes people can read through somebody that's not inauthentic. So you can fake it for some time, then at a point you'll be like, there's something there. So how do we maintain those two?
You've got to be authentic, and also you've got to have wisdom. I can say this one I cannot say. And who am I telling, maybe some of my issues and problems, so I think there's an element of wisdom that we need to have in business and even in life. You just don't tell anyone your problems. You don't just tell anyone your successes, and it's okay, fine, it's okay, you can post on social media your successes, but the thing is, you've got to be honest. First of all, your core. For me, let's deal with your core. Your core, your belief system, your principles, they've got to be intact, whether on camera, off camera, whether you're in public. We cannot have two faces or two about your core, So if I'm an honest person, I can be like, at one place, I'm honest, in the other place, I'm not honest. No, they've got to be, there are things that don't change. And I know we say that, when you go to Speta, do what Spetans do. When you go to Rome,
do as Romans do.
No, there are things that Rome should not change. There are things that abroad or wherever you go should not change. Who you are, integrity. And integrity is basically the fear of God. In the marketplace, we must give it a name. So it's basically the fear of God. It's saying that, even if no one is watching, I cannot do that. Even if people are not around to see, I cannot do that, because I fear God. I know there's somebody who is seeing. I fear God. I know there's somebody who is seeing, and this is not who I am. This is who I am. There are things that should not be changed, and we cannot have two faces about. But also, we need wisdom to know, this is what I can share in public. This is what I cannot share in public. This is what I can say at this point. This is what I cannot say. That's a work of wisdom that we must really grow into.
I think, as you said, it's really a work of wisdom, because sometimes with this social media, lines get blurred, and then you're seeing, today this person looks all put together, the next day what they are posting, you're like, who is this?
And but the way we say, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I know people try to act up. They can act up and act up in some places, but if a character is there, a bad character is there, or even a good character, it will come out eventually. It will come up. So if even in a private, let me say in your personal life, you are very organized. We come to your house, you're very organized. Your bedroom, you're very organized. Chances are you're taking the same organization in the workplace, in your business, in your wherever you are with people. You're taking the same organization. If you are a disorganized person, everything is everywhere, socks in the windowsills, everything, even in the workplace, even in your business, you are the same with that disorganized. Even if those things will still come out. And if you realize you have a weakness, just try find a way of how you can work on it, because it's gonna show up somewhere.
Okay. Now our time is fast running out, but I'd like you, Mercy, to spend some little time telling us a little bit about your experience with the Equity Group Foundation. You're a trainee. What lessons have you learned through that program on how to brand yourself as a person and to brand your business?
Okay, I'll first appreciate Equity Bank. We've come a long way. 10 years now. Yes, I've grown with them. They've really supported me, a lot of projects, a lot. And they've sent people. I'm trained in so many different ways, in a personal level, as a group, Divine Collections staff. I've come to realize managing finances is key. We start business with the passion now that I'm telling you. You do it because you feel it's a hobby. You make a lot of money, and you get to a point where now you're confused. I've come to learn you can't stop learning. You have to learn every day. You have to learn from friends. You have to learn from even smaller businesses. You learn everywhere. There's something that shop that maybe sells 2,000, 3,000 has something to tell you. So you listen, and I've come to understand that you need to invest wisely. You need to choose where to put your money. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, before we also get your last comments and advice for people, maybe you can tell our viewers what can they take out of this conversation that we've had as they are building that personal brand. What should they take out and really pay attention to make sure that they are building a strong brand that is going to last them a very long time? And maybe you can also tell us, what would you describe your personal brand as in maybe 2 words? Just for someone to have an idea.
Okay, so let me start with the first one.
Yeah.
So one, is self-awareness. You've got to know who you are, and you've got to be honest about your strengths and weaknesses. And that is why we need people like mentors and coaches, life coaches. That's why you need those kind of people, or even accountability partners. You've got to be honest with yourself about your strengths and your weaknesses. And so that when you realize you have strengths, you can maximize on them. Then you need to be a person of your word. You've got to be known for that, because any brand that cannot keep its word, it's going to be a commodity selling around very soon. So you've got to be known for something that we know when we give you this job, when you give Claire this, we can even go to sleep, because we know that the job will be done, the work will be done, the office will be closed, things will be done well. Yeah. When we call you and maybe you make, maybe you're doing graphic design, we know that when we give the person, you know our brand, you know our colors, you know, like we don't have to keep calling, no, change this, no, change that. We know you will do the job well. You've got to be a person of your word. You've got to be known for something.
Yeah.
You've got to be known for something. And also, like the core values that we are speaking about, whether it's integrity, you're going to be honest, even if you're going to give negative news, but you are being honest.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be known for that. And if you can be known for that, then we have a brand. If you can be known for that one thing, I know that if I call so and so, he is honest.
Yeah.
Whatever he charges, give the job, because he's going to be honest. People can pay anything for honesty. Yeah. And I know, by the way, in companies, people who are kept there, not because they're the best performers, not because they're the best salespeople, but their MDs keep them there because they know this person is honest.
Yeah.
This person, I know they will bank the checks, they will do, and the office will be closed, and everything will be taken care of. Just because of that character, they are kept there.
Okay.
Honesty, integrity, trustworthy. Those they pay, I think they're the highest paying jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And one word to
And the
describe
highest
yourself,
paying brands.
as we wrap up, one word that you would say describes your personal brand.
My personal brand, I think
One word.
I would say happy.
Okay.
I'm happy. Well, when you meet me, you're gonna be happy. Yes.
Okay,
when you
super.
meet me, you're gonna be happy.
Merci. You can also close the show for us. Just tell us one piece of advice to our viewers on personal branding in under a minute.
I would say, be who you are and believe in everything that you want to do.
Super.
You'll get there.
Super. Thank you so much. I think this was a good conversation, and I think my takeaway is be a brand, not a commodity. So work on it every day and be authentic. So thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of The Disruption. Until next week, have a good evening. Good evening.